Well, it looks like the devs decided to go ahead and push the update out because so much of it had leaked already. So let's get into the shop rework major update that was released on 5/8/2025. Last night, most of the shop information had leaked, but even since then, the art has changed. So let's go ahead and get on into it. As you see, the shop has completely changed. The pages are now more reminiscent of vendor catalogs for each of the different Fairfax MPS and Curiosity catalog. Perfect, yeah, catalog. I think that looks awesome. Before it was kind of like a comic book vibe, but the art is much more refined than it was in the leaked images. So they did definitely go back and do another art pass. I think it looks great. We know that a bunch of items have been renamed. We're about 20 or so new items, but it's really neat just looking at the art. Looks awesome. And with the art update to the shop, we see the item slots have been completely changed. You now have 12 instead of 16. You still keep all 4 of your flex slots and you unlock them the same way. So because you're reduced down to 12, you lose 4 slots, but you now can take all weapon items or all spirit or all vitality. So you get a big trade-off there. I'm sure a bunch of these items maybe have been changed to make that balance a little bit better. So that is interesting. You lose 4 slots, but you can they're universal. So like, that's crazy. It really does change how you're going to look at itemization and just like the flow of the game and what you can do to your build. Glass cannon builds are going to be crazy, I'm sure. There's going to be some crazy damage coming out, and I can't wait to see what people cook up. We've got new artwork, which we've taken a look at. They've reworked how tier bonuses work in the shop. They no longer max based on each item you buy, but instead based on the total you spend. Maxing out one isn't optimal bonus-wise. Like I said, various names have been changed, and items now glow when you can upgrade them, which you can see here. I think that's such a great visual change. It's so much clearer. I'd sit here and look at stuff forever trying to figure out what I could upgrade, and I just think this is, for clarity's sake, it's wonderful. They've also changed the build authoring in the game, which you can see here. They've kind of changed. I honestly don't really remember what it looked like before. You can search by tags, which is really cool. It's also part of the new update. And then just overall, a bunch of other changes to how publishing works, specifying like what you need to do, like selling or buying wise. So interesting. I'm really interested to see what people can do with that, which I guess we'll see as people start to make new builds. They've also changed how quick buy works. They've added a new larger quick buy UI, which you can see right here, and lets you remove and reorder items in the queue. Added a button to queue your entire build or to clear your quick buy. So that's really cool. So you can just throw your whole build into quick buy and just be done with it. I honestly had never really used the quick buy too much. I always just kind of do it manually. So this is really cool. Maybe I'll start using it more. So somebody on the Reddit had made a visual to show what exactly was new and what wasn't, and what had been moved around. And so now we can go through and see exactly what is new and what it does. There's a ton of new items, so I'm not going to go through and read everything, but I will highlight them. And if you see something you like, maybe pause the video and read it yourself. And we'll kind of get into them more as we go through the video. So we've got Backstabber, which has been the name changed since before. Intensifying Magazine has been moved up. Opening Rounds is also new. We've got Weakening Headshot, Split Shot, Blood Tribute. I'll move this over here. We've got Blood Tribute, and Berserker has been moved up. Cultist Sacrifice, Express Shot, Spirit Rend, and Weighted Shots, with Hollow Point being moved up from tier 1. Over here we've got Armor Piercing Rounds, Capacitator, Crushing Fists, and Spellslinger had been moved up from tier 3. So yeah, that is all the new items in the weapons catalog. Going over to Vitality, Let's see. We've got Rebuttal, that is new. I thought it might have been like a Enduring Spirit remake, but nope, that is a fresh one. We've got Guardian Ward, Counterspell, Fury Trance, and Trophy Collector, with Veilwalker being moved down from tier 4 and Warpstone being changed over from, I believe it was in Weapons tab. We've also got Cheat Death, Divine Barrier has been moved, Devanir's Kevlar has been moved over from Spirit, Healing Tempo is new, Infuser has been moved over, Juggernaut is new, Plated Armor is also new, Witchmail, Vampiric Burst has been moved from Weapons tab, and Spellbreaker. Those are all the new items that came in the Vitality MPS section. Now onto the Curiosity catalog. We've got Mystic Regeneration, Rusted Barrel, Spirit Sap, Arcane Surge, and Improved Spirit have been moved down from tier 3. Decay has been moved over here, and Disarming Hex is new. I thought it might have been like a Slowing Hex remake, but no, it looks like that has been removed and been changed to this. We got Tank Buster, Arcane Blast, Boundless Spirit, Lightning Scroll, Focus Lens, Mercurial Magnum, Spirit Burn, and Vortex Web. So the Spirit tab has seen the most tier 4 items get added, I believe. So that is the item shop update. I want to go ahead and move on to the map changes, because it seems like there's a bunch of new visual changes for the map. So with the shop update, we also see a new base coming into the game. This is the view coming from the walker. You can see they added these stairs here. So there have been some overarching changes to the map. And here is the new base. So it looks really good. Kind of looks a little dead. Lock, eh? But I think it just looks crazy. It looks like a cathedral almost. We are worshiping the patron. He's got himself a little throne here, so that's interesting. I'm curious what it's gonna look like when you kill patron. So now he's no longer floating out in front. We also see the shrines have been tucked off to the side, and just overall a rework to how like the flow and feel of the interior of the base is. We no longer have the stairs going up. Instead, we have stairs going down. How about that? With a zip line going up into the top and also connecting to the front guardians. I think this looks crazy. So reading off of the patch notes, they said that the Amberside is early development pass at Industrial Interior. Sapphire Side is early development at pass at Museum Interior. So this looks more like an Industrial Interior, and this is Amberside because he is red. So let's go fly on over and look at Sapphire. While we're flying over, I'll go ahead and just call out some stuff I see along the way. They changed, just did a fresh art pass on a lot of this stuff. A new store, Somnex. I can't wait to go and look at all the new art and stuff they added. It looks like they maybe refined some stores a little bit more. I honestly don't know if this was here before, like the exterior of it. It looks like mid has been left alone for the most part. These used to be a lot taller, so they are just like, they did make some changes here, but mid looks to be pretty much the same, with aside from a few small changes. Here we've got the external view for the museum Sapphire side. Honestly, I like the industrial side a little bit better, but it looks cool nonetheless. There aren't any changes inside, it appears, but going on down the list, it does look like the patron's throne will lower itself down and will be in the lower area for phase 2 like it was in the past. So that is cool that they're adding more like a dynamic bits to the map. I'm really interested to see what it actually looks like. Added this new tunnel. I think this will open up when phase 2 starts, So previously, kind of like, you know, you could jump up into base. That is the new tunnel leading to the second phase, which is what we can go ahead and look and see what it looks like here by no clipping in. Looks pretty similar, just some slight changes. But again, I'm really interested to see what it looks like when it lowers itself down. Here we can see they've made some changes to the walker areas on the exterior lanes. Kind of pushed these back, changed the sky bridge a little bit, and just overall some more art changes, juke closet, and they extended this catwalk right here. Those appear to be the main changes to the map with this update. Nothing super crazy aside from the base changes, and like that, obviously I don't think that will have too much impact on like the flow of the gameplay. Yeah, nothing crazy with the jungle changes, just some new art passes and whatnot. So nothing crazy there. Again, just a big art pass that we're seeing as I fly around. We can see the same kind of changes mirrored on the other lane with some fresh art. We also get the chapel has been redone, some department stores, the bell tower, which I'm not necessarily sure what the bell tower is. So all around, just some nice new art changes, good art passes. I always love some new art, but nothing insane on the map wise. The biggest update is in fact item store. So breaking down the rest of, let's go ahead and look at the rest of the updates. There are some changes to soul orb mechanics. Players gain ammo when claiming an orb. I love that. They've changed the visual effects to make it more obvious when it is about to expire or when you've claimed it. And also just some like collision and latency changes. But so the ammo coming back on an orb, that's really cool. I'm curious to see how much you get because it doesn't say. Game feel and optimization, there are changes to networking and other bits and bobs. Got a bunch of new movement changes. Air acceleration has been increased to improve wall jump controls, but only while moving at lower speeds. Wall jump has been simplified. There is now just one launch direction, but in combination with increased air acceleration, the same variety of moves is still possible. Control over air dashes, wall jump fatigue changes, and a couple others, but again, nothing crazy for movement. Here's some gameplay changes, and these seem to be affected by the item slots change. Changing the third flex slot unlock from killing all walkers to killing 2 walkers. So there is a change in getting flex slots. Changing the last flex slot from base guardians and shrine to just base guardians. Players now start with 400 souls. Adjusted the boon reward schedule and added some more levels. You can now gain spirit per boon. Adjusted spirit on various abilities and items to compensate. Hero stats rebalanced. Shields have been reworked. They're now called barriers. That's a big one. Losing team now gains 25% more souls from troopers, neutrals, vaults, and objectives based on how behind they are. Peaks at 20% max net worth delta. First 3K in net worth difference is ignored. So that's kind of a massive change. And might make it a little bit easier to stop the snowball if you get behind in souls super early. Power-ups now spawn at 5 minutes instead of 10. Breakables now spawn at 2 minutes instead of 3 and respawn every 3 minutes. Soul breakables chance increased from 50 to 60. Golden statues breakable chance increased from 40 to 50. And minimap now shows what kind of power-up is spawned. So those are also some massive changes to the gameplay. A lot of just different balancing and like this is gonna change your jungling and how you think about getting souls seemingly across the board. With these new item spawns coming in earlier, that's pretty massive. Teleporters now spawn at the beginning of the game. Okay, so there are a couple other changes in here, but those seem to be the biggest ones that I see, and there are some massive ones indeed. That's just a lot of game-changing stuff in here. So there's some more general changes and sound and VO changes, so that's pretty cool. Get too in the weeds on all this stuff, just trying to hit the high notes. There's been a bunch of new UI changes, as well as a bunch of hero nerfs and buffs and changes. I don't believe we're seeing any new like art updates for the heroes, despite leaks saying otherwise happening soon. But just overall across the board, a bunch of Hayes got a remaster on her voice. That's good because I thought she sounded a little weird before. So this is interesting. I didn't realize they had added these, but they did add the new McGinnis updated model and animations. And then, I mean, just looking at here, you can see they changed the Dynamo art. That seems to be the only changes from the leaks that we see reflected here. No Ivy updates. Sorry, Gooners. Abrams looking fucking fierce. Let's go. Let's see what Miss McGinnis looks like. We got the Rosie the Riveter type feel. I think she looks phenomenal. Kind of swagging. Looking at the other two, it doesn't really seem like the character art is reflecting a change to the model. It does appear that they have updated models for Dynamo and McGinnis, so that is cool. So that is a big change to McGinnis. She looks wonderful now. I know a lot of people were sad to see her go, but it's the way she goes, bub. Just overall more nerfs and changes, some voiceover passes, so I can't wait to hear what they sound like. And then just more on the items that have been changed and sounds and whatnot like that. So overall, pretty massive update. I really can't wait to see how these new items change the game, how item slots change the game. Arguably, I think this is the biggest update. I mean, like, visually, yes, this looks amazing, but the item slots changing has massive implications on the gameplay. So I'm really interested to see what happens and how things escalate from here. Let me know down below what you think about the new update and item slots. My name has been Kronos. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.